A term that we in case world throw around a lot is shadow box, and yeah, that I guess originated in printing world where people would have a light table and they would lay their item on it to be able to get an accurate image of the exterior. But in actuality, that simply just means that we're asking whether or not there is a need to have the foam almost exactly contoured around odd-shaped equipment, so it's extremely apparent about what goes in what slot. And in some circumstances, that's an extremely valuable aid in helping people repack the case and recognize what goes where. In other circumstances, it's not as critical, and we can cut down a bit on the expense of the fabrication involved to have a little bit a little bit of economy in the production. And of course, as well, we need to think in terms of finger holes or hand holes to get the items in and out of the case. So sometimes people want to go the other way and have fairly universal cavities. If they've got a tool set, for example, and they have to replace a wrench, they don't necessarily want to have to go back and buy that exact same brand of wrench or caliper or whatever tool they're working with. They want something that's universal enough to handle either a variety that they might purchase in the future or a variety of things they have in their current inventory. Another area that we're going to see the term shadow box used a lot are in federal aviation approved workshops. It's a standard in those shops that each tool drawer or each layer of a tool box have some basis of a specifically shaped cavity that indicates whether a tool or an essential component is missing. So actually an inspection of a finished repair job is an inspection not only of the aircraft or the aircraft component that's been worked on, it is an inspection of the mechanic's toolboxes to be sure there is nothing there. There's no cavity that's not filled that indicates that something has been left behind. Other industries now are beginning to pick up on that practice. One of my large customers that does utility service had a $5 million liability policy against bad things happening to the electrical turbines that they were working on. At the end of a project, a gas turbine got fired up with a torque wrench left inside. Their $5 million liability policy was not enough to cover the damages that the customer charged back to them for the combination of loss of the generator unit for several more months and the repair that had to be done. Those practices haven't been formalized in people that are doing work with medical gear, but many companies have voluntarily adopted some of those standards because it's essential to have the same level of accountability. If you're working with magnetic resonance, MRI equipment, magnetic resonance imaging, you've got a tremendous problem if a piece of steel gets close to that's not supposed to be there. So again, accountability of the items and the tools that you're working with are critical. So again, in summary, shadow box may have originated in printing world. You hear it a lot thrown around in avionics terms, and we're a little bit lazy sometimes and throw it around when we're talking about whether you need that exact contour that illustrates what the item is supposed to be that goes in the foam.